Hi, my name is Michael. I'm a resident of New York City. I've been living here for 31 years of my life, and I have the 2025 General Election voter guide that came in the mail a while ago. But basically, what I want to do is I want to go through this, and I want to talk about the ballot proposals that are on the New York City ballot for the mayoral election. That I'm sure many people are going to because they've been electrified by Mamdani's campaign. Um, but I think it's also important for all of us to be aware of exactly what is on our ballot, what are we voting for, and what do we as constituents have the power to decide. So first things first, ballot proposal 1, amendment to allow Olympic Sports Complex in Essex County on state forest preserve land. And all the information is here. This is mailed out to New York City residents who are registered to vote. If you haven't received one, learn more at nycvotes.org. This is all public information that's out there, and this is really helpful because not only does it have information on the proposals, it also has information on the candidates running for mayor, for public advocate, comptroller, and then like all the things that we could do through early voting. Like there's a lot of good resources here. I feel like if you're a New York City resident and you don't have this, you should get on top of that so that you're well informed and aware of exactly what it is that's going on in the city. So the first ballot proposal, basically what it says is that the proposal would allow the expansion of new ski trails in the new Olympic Sports Complex in Essex County of New York. The Olympic Sports Complex is in state preserve land, state forest preserve land. This proposal would also require for New York State to add 2,500 acres of protected forest land to Adirondack Park. Now, what does this mean exactly? Basically, they're going to take area from Adirondack Park to develop like a new ski complex, presumably for like the Winter Olympics, to help promote tourism and whatnot. But we've technically already seen this with, I want to say it was like in the late 1800s, early 1900s with the Catskills. But like it was all done also in the name of to promote tourism, stimulate the economy. There will be more jobs, people working on that. To develop these projects and whatnot. But like, what have we seen as a result of our past with the Catskills? So I don't really hear people talking about like the booming tourism of the Catskills Mountains. Like, yeah, maybe I'll see ads on like the Metro North or whatever, but like, it's not something that is really known as like a tourist thing or spot that I think probably generates like a sizable amount of money. For the New York State economy. But like, if you vote yes on this, it would essentially create a change to the New York State Constitution that would allow them to actually do this, because New York State forest land, that is protected by the Constitution of New York State. And the problem is that if we decide to amend our Constitution for stuff like this, it'll set a bad precedent, in my opinion, that could bleed over eventually to New York City. Like, what's going to stop other people from like suggesting like, oh well, we passed this off for the Olympic sports thing upstate. Like, why don't we also build on the green spaces of New York City? So that could lead to what? Oh, some people like, oh, let's take away area from Central Park because we are so overpopulated now and we don't have places for people to live. And it would just I think it's a sloppy solution. The fact that the proposal also requires New York State to add an additional 2,500 acres of forest land to the forest preserve, like it's giving like oil companies saying like, oh, for every $100 we make, we're going to plant a tree or whatever to offset our chemical footprint or whatever. And it's like, what's going to happen when we do run out of like land that belongs to the state because we developed it all? Because eventually there will be justifications. People will continually justify the fact that like, oh, well, we're going to need the land for such and such. And at some point, we're going to run out of land. And then if that happens to New York City, it's already devastating, like not having as much green space as we can, when it's been proven that having spaces like that are like closer to nature are like good for people's like mental health, well-being, for people with pets to like walk around, for the environment, for, you know, sustainability, oxygen, all that stuff. So I just think it's a bad idea. I'm personally going to vote no. Sorry, this was supposed to be about informing you, and now I'm pushing my views on you. My fault. Proposal 2. So proposals 2 through 4 are all related to charter amendments. This is to fast track affordable housing, to build more affordable housing across the city. Proposal 3 is to simplify review of modest housing and infrastructure projects. And Proposal 4, establish an affordable housing appeals board with council, borough, and citywide representation. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty, but basically these are proposals from the Adams administration to basically circumvent the power that city council has to veto any public works projects, because as it stands, our delegates who we elect for our city council, like I'm District 10, basically they're the ones who advocate for us whenever there is public housing, or like public, anything related to the public in like different parts of the borough. Our delegates are the ones who negotiate to make sure that our community's voices are heard. If we give the mayor the power to basically say, no, this is not getting done fast enough, I'm just going to ignore what you guys have to say for this community, and I'm going to go ahead, and because I think this is the right idea or best idea to stimulate the economy or whatever, like it's going to be what's going to happen. Personally, I'm okay with, let's say Mom Donnie uses this power. I feel like from his campaign, the way that he's been running it, I think he's probably responsible enough to not abuse this power. However, we're basically opening the door and leaving it open for once his term ends, to whatever mayor picks up. Maybe we get another Eric Adams, and maybe it's going to be someone else who just drives up the rent, and they'll make bad decisions. Honestly, like what can I really say? Like my fear personally is that like whatever mayor has like the bright idea to like, you know, in the name of making more affordable housing, maybe they'll overcrowd a certain area because it didn't go through the proper approvals, and then it'll push people out. It'll cause more gentrification, people getting displaced because of the fact that like more housing means more people moving in, and it's going to drive more prices up. And like it's a delicate balance, honestly. And I feel like we have checks and balances for a reason, both in the federal and the state government. I don't think that we should be diminishing the power that our delegates have, that we elect, that basically are supposed to be doing their job of representing our voices. I just don't think it's a good idea. We can do more with what we already have, rather than just speeding up the process and possibly going through less. I couldn't figure out what I was going to say. Basically, I don't feel like this is the best decision for us, because it's going to diminish our sovereignty, and the power of the choices that we have on our community. Proposal 4, basically, the proposal would create an affordable housing appeals board made up of the local borough president, speaker of the city council, and the mayor. The proposal would allow the appeals board to reverse city council decision on a 2-to-1 vote. So I'm not a fan of just like completely disregarding, let's say like city council or whatever, like just because like the mayor got someone else to agree with him. Like I don't think it's worth it. I think this is a slippery slope. Ballot proposal number 5, proposed charter amendment to create a digital city map to modernize city operations. So what you'll see on the ballot is basically to consolidate the borough map office and address and address assignment functions and create one digital city map at the Department of City Planning. So today, the city map consists of paper maps across 5 offices. Yes creates a consolidated digital city map. And no leaves in place the 5 separate map and address assignment functions administered by the borough president offices. So essentially, a vote yes would create a centralized digital city map that contains basically like the whole city, and the Department of City Planning will be able to use it to better streamline and like allocate resources better. Basically, like it'll be for organizational purposes. And I think this is it doesn't come without its downsides. Like if we migrate everything to a digital space, that means that we also need to start investing in cybersecurity, because what's going to happen if we suffer cybersecurity attacks, and then public information will be like at risk. Like that's no bueno. So there's also the risk of people who work at these departments that perhaps they need to be like retrained or given more accessibility measures in order to really understand how to work this new process. And it's going to be something that the returns over time will make up for the fact that it'll have an initial high cost to really to really complete the effort. But I honestly, I think that the benefits outweigh the risk, and I'm definitely voting yes for this. And then the last ballot proposal 6, I think this is the most important, just legacy-wise. It's a proposed charter amendment to move local elections to presidential election years to increase voter participation. So what you're going to see on the ballot is this is to move the city's primary and general election dates so that city elections are held in the same year as federal presidential elections when permitted by state law. Yes would move the city elections to the same year as federal presidential elections when permitted by state law, or no leaves the laws unchanged. It's pretty straightforward. So as it is right now, our local elections happen on odd years, and federal elections happen on even years. Basically, in order to increase voter turnout, the plan would be to hold both elections on the same year. Other states have done this. However, what does it really mean? If by chance we move our local elections to federal election years, then what's going to happen to our local politics? I fear that our local politics are going to be like drowned out by the national politics, and people who are running for office are more than likely going to be attaching themselves to whoever the big party candidate is for, like, let's say the president or whatever. And it's just going to completely take the focus away from local politics, as in like our city, the stuff that we need to focus on to improve our communities, our cities, are like just it taking attention away from that is only going to be worse for us. It's also going to make us, I believe, more susceptible to propaganda. The fact that like we're going to be more people are going to be showing up to vote because, oh yeah, we might as well like knock out all this stuff. But this means that we're going to be targeted way more by ads. It's going to be like, and it's going to, it's going to also like mix in that ad influence and like that kind of like, basically what Mamdani was fighting against, which is like the establishment, taking money from the biggest donors, basically, in order to really push down their agendas. I personally don't really care anymore about like whatever the rich people want or think. Like, I've been living here 31 years of my life in Washington Heights. I've seen the city get gentrified. I've seen the people get displaced. I've seen the Dominican population like gradually dwindle. People moving out to New Jersey, to Boston, to Yonkers, to the Bronx, like other places. And it's just like, when is enough enough? Like, I really want a more holistic approach to state politics, where people that we elect are actually listening to us, and the reason I've been so electrified and radicalized by this campaign is the fact that like Zoran is literally out there in the streets everywhere this whole fucking weekend. Like he was on Halloween weekend. He was out by the like outside the parade. He went to the club. He went to he went to multiple clubs. The fact that he went to the New York City Marathon the day after, like he's doing his part to like make people know that they are being heard. And we're not going to be heard if we move our local elections to the election years or to the federal election year. It's just not going to happen. And I need you guys to keep in mind that all of these proposals were brought up by the Adams administration. Personally, I'm tired of Eric Adams and his bullshit and this like all this pro cop shit that like, okay, yeah, like I understand that we need to be kept safe and all that, but all the resources that are being frankly like misallocated for like, okay, cops are being called for the mental health crisis. Cops are being called because all these things that basically for the real emergencies, they don't show up on time. And like people talk about trickle down economics. This is like trickle down effects of like how we're misallocating our money. And the proposal like these set by the administrations that are doing it, I think are not the way. So I really like, I tried to bang this shit out a couple days ago and I couldn't because life got in the way. But I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to post this, but before the day ends, if I wanted to do some editing, fuck it, no, I'm not editing. I'm just gonna post this shit raw. But I mean, it's important. I know that a lot of people have been following New York City politics because of this whole campaign, and they want New York to be like a beacon of faith and like hope. You know, reminiscent of like that first Obama campaign. Look where that went. But I think it's important that we don't let despair get to us. That even if people are acting as if all of these proposals for the new mayor that he's bringing up, they're unfeasible. How's all the money going to come out of this and all this crap? And I'm like, bro, enough is enough. We need change. We need things to be different. We need to take the first step ourselves, whether that's electing someone who's not an establishment Democrat or like engaging more in populism and like directly, you know, speaking to their constituents and like what they want. Change needs to happen. And these ballot proposals are not it, because this is from the same establishment Dems that I fucking hate, that fucked it up for all of us. The same establishment that raised the rent multiple times, whereas de Blasio, you know, froze it for like 4 times. Tired of this shit, man. Please go out and vote. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to upload it right away. Take care. Stay safe. And yeah, vote. Your vote matters.